So how many guys that, potentially grew up in the hood or grew up in the deep South and joined the military, pridefully did so, but also because maybe that is their best option.
Yeah.
They are not the most educated human beings on the planet. They served 3.5 years, so now they're 21 or 22. And you're telling me that they need to learn how to write fucking essays for themselves? Like, most of our people in the military are enlisted, and most of the enlisted people, almost like I think it's a third of them, are E4s, the first like 2 ranks. E1, 2, 3, and 4 is but all under that category. They're all young people that haven't gone to college yet, that have a variety of education and background, and then they just get booted out into the real world, and they have to go deal with the stuff that we have to deal with, but they've never even seen it yet.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, just right away, it's very obvious as to like how difficult that would potentially be.
Yeah, like I'm sitting at one of the best positions possible. I've suffered through different things that I've had to deal with, but I've been educated and I've been very lucky that I've known how to work hard and where. But people are very different, and the limitations of work and ability and intellect and understanding, and then again, it all comes down to then how many of these people have issues, then that is hindering one of those areas.
Yeah.
If not all of them,
Yeah. So how does the VA health work versus VA benefits and compensation? And then how does this affect veterans?
Yeah. So I'm not I'm not the biggest expert because I don't work in the VA, but I can tell you that from my experience, I can speak on this on experience, and then just from what I've had to research, right? There's 2 parts to the VA. There's VA health, VA benefits compensation. When you are going into using the VA services, you always start on the VA health side. But guess what? They actually don't communicate almost at all. Our budget...
Why would they?
Yeah, that would make too much sense. As for what I thought too, when I went to the first compensation appointment, so I was in healthcare and I jumped over to this side, and they're like, "We don't have any of your notes from your doctor. You were supposed to bring them." Like, okay, that's crazy. The budget for the VA is the benefits of compensation, which covers compensation for injuries and ailments, benefits as in, extended education benefits and wellness kind of falls under that one as well. And anything with education with school, like GI Bill stuff, that also falls under there. There's that part, and then there's the health side. And the health side is anything healthcare related, from specialty appointments, surgeries, doctors, primary care, is the whole deal. And that huge bucket, 90% of the budget, close to 90. Someone's going to quote me on here, but it's above 80, and less than 90% of the budget is just in health. And the benefits of compensation is there as well. It's maybe not supported quite as heavily as health, because health takes so many things, right?
Yeah.
Physical hospitals, locations, the whole deal. And so they're separated. I can't tell you why they are, but I can tell you from experience what happens when you go to VA healthcare. They will tell you there's a VSO, a veteran service officer, who is the middle ground, and they work for the compensation side. And that is the guy that is supposed to help a veteran when they want to make a claim, file for a claim for disability for an injury or an ailment or something that happened to them. So there's one guy assigned to you, and it's a free service from the VA, and you hope that person is going to be educated and take care of you. So when I went from the healthcare side, I've been going to the VA for over a year, gone probably 3 or 4 appointments. I talked to a VSO, and he said, "What do you want to claim?" Didn't ask me, didn't tell me, didn't educate. No, there's no pamphlet, even nothing. I was like, "Oh, I don't know. I have a couple issues, migraines, this, that, or the other." And he's like, "Okay, cool. I'll just submit it for you. Do I have the legal authority to do so?" And I'm like,
"Who are you asking?"
I don't have a lawyer, so
yeah.
I'm just going to say yes, because I'm don't know what the hell you're asking, really. And I tried to ask him, I was like, "What does that mean?" He's like, "Well, it means I can submit you to get a claim and get some compensation at the end of it." So, sure, go for it, buddy. That's all I got, right? I'm trusting the VA because I kind of have to.
Yeah.
And I go to that appointment, and like I said, I went there, and now that you're on the claim side of the house, wasn't explained to me. This is like that insurance adjuster. And you have to have all of these documents ready. And there's formatting, and there's the ailments will tell you symptomatically where you'll fall under for percentage ranges, all this stuff. And when you go to that exam, it's a contracted company, and you go to that exam and they ask you questions and they're just checking boxes on a list. That's it. And they'll look at 10 things. If you submit 10 things, unless there's something that's really specialty, like for mental health, it's separate, they'll look at you in about 45 minutes. Could be 10 entirely different things, from a foot injury to a sinus problem to a neck injury, like 45 minutes. They'll look at the whole thing. So if you're not only providing evidence that you need to bring in person or online or both, that's what I suggest to people in my course, just bring a hard copy, why not? But you also have to be kind of articulate. You have to speak about these things and actually explain them. You can't beat around the bush, but you've got about 45 minutes. And if there's a ton of things, good luck.
Yeah.
So you have to be very well-rounded and be okay talking about these things that might suck, that might have damaged you. And then you have to explain it well, not just say, well, yeah, it hurts sometimes. And they're going to say, well, it says here the symptoms have to say 3 times a year. And he said sometimes, so that's no.
Yeah.
That's all it is. They just check boxes, and this gets sent to the VA, and somebody that works at the VA looks at that case. So, yeah, I went into that first one unknowing this, and the person that was a contractor was grilling me while they're asking me questions. They're like, how do you not know? Like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to say I'm the smartest person. I'm not a dumb person. What do you mean? What did I not know? What questions was I supposed to figure out?
Yeah. Yeah. There's just no way of being prepared.
And this process is like playing the game, because you go to your normal doctor, and they should have the best intent for you, but this is a contracted person.
Yeah.
That's technically a doctor, and they're going to see 30 people in a day or 10 people in a day or whatever it is, right? And they're just checking boxes, and that gets sent, checking boxes, and that gets sent. So you need to make sure you're prepared, because you're talking and having to validate for yourself.
Yeah.
And that's really hard, right? So going from one to the other, I can't tell you why it's still set up that way, but they don't communicate. And so when you go into compensation land, it is not the same. And people don't realize that, because when they start going to the VA, they just start showing up just like I did.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. So what's changing in the VA now?
Well, some good things that have happened. I'm going to talk about the last administration, generally speaking, a little bit before that administration too, but probably one of the best things that ever happened in all of the VA, one of the biggest turning points because of the global war on terror, was what's called the PACT Act. The PACT Act opens up the doors for veterans from all eras to get compensated for things that had happened in their life from time overseas, deployments, wars. If you've had any cancer, you can direct it to, I was in Vietnam during this time, and every single cancer is on that list. That's great. It opens up the doors for every era, right? That PACT Act has like those presumptive conditions list. And that was probably one of the biggest helpful things to make that leap for people that are from different eras of war that are unable to get service connected, because they're like, well, I have, cancer, and I know it's related to Agent Orange because I've looked it up. But before the PACT Act, the VA said, well, you can't prove that because you didn't have cancer in war.
Yeah.
Because it's not the same as getting shot. If you get shot in the leg and then you went and got treated for it in the military, then you go to the VA, then they look at the military record, it's already connected.
Yeah, sure.
So how do you connect something that was long lasting later?
Yeah.
They weren't taken care of now. So this is the VA's way to make up for it. So that was one of the best things that happened only 5 years ago. And the PACT Act opened up the doors for a lot of vets to use it. So out of 9 million veterans, roughly 9 million right now, 6 million today use any VA healthcare or benefits at all. Before the PACT Act, it was less than 4 million. So we had a 2 million jump in less than 5 years. There's not 2 million veterans that all left the Army at the same time, right? This was getting new people in. The VA app is actually one of the best things too that has helped, because now it is actually very, very functional. So their website was okay. It's gotten a little better. The app is actually phenomenal because you can actually message a doctor directly on there. It's a secure network. You can check you're processing claims, you can figure out your paperwork on there, which is amazing. So those are some of the highlights, the big good things that came out of, the last administration. And this administration, we haven't seen the good yet because it's very early. What's happening because of Doge and what's going on is that they're letting go of a lot of people from the VA. And what they're saying is we're letting go of all these people that we hired for the PACT Act. But the PACT Act isn't going away. So what the hell does that mean, right? You have a bunch of people that were used to work on a job, and now that job and that very big, important benefit is now going to be spread out to new or other people that work at the VA. You're going to get people that are overworked or people that are not taking care of claims as well, or however this trickle effect is. And as of yesterday, 30,000 more people by the end of this year are going to be let go from the VA. Supposedly, in the areas where there's just too many people. Every place has that. Every huge organization has 5 people that are doing the job that just really just one person can do.
Yeah.
This is complicated. A lot of people that work at the VA are veterans, right? This is a stable job for them. Working in the government in some sectors is the bandwidth of people that can really just stay within that bandwidth because the government works slow. It works at a different pace than corporate. And so I'm not sure what this looks like in the future, but I worry that it's going to lead to veterans not being taken care of. If I already wasn't taken care of by that one VSO very well, I can't imagine if, maybe he doesn't get fired or let go. I'm sorry. But other people do that are really good, or other people retire because they don't want to deal with this stuff anymore. It's just going to have a trickle down effect to the veteran having less support. That's just what happens. And I don't care what anybody says. That's what happens. This trickle effect affects the veterans the most. I feel bad for everybody that works at the VA that's going to get let go. Obviously, no one wants to lose their job. I've been there. But if you take somebody that is not unsure of the civilian world and is dealing with problems, and now they have less support, less people maybe reaching out to them if they even do than before, you think the suicide rate's going to stay the same or go up? Just take a gander. It's probably going to go up, right?
Yeah.
It's a trickle effect of these issues. So I fear for the support system because the VA's money is not changing. That's actually been announced that they're not cutting any financing in the VA in any big field. There's little changes here and there, but they're actually bolstering some areas.
Yeah.
But they're letting go of people.
Manpower to facilitate that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And not every single spot needs manpower, but taking care of people takes people in general. It doesn't take a system. It's not going to do it.
Yeah.
People will take care of people.